Hi everybody, welcome to the training camp wrap-up show presented by UPMC Health Plan. I am Missi Matthews. The Steelers once again not in pads today, wrapping up their Sunday practice here at Heinz Field. Let's head down to the field, and Mathew Sexton is kind enough to join us. Mathew, appreciate your time. I want to go back to Thursday, the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. Coach Tomlin in his post-game press conference said you helped ignite the team. Take me through that punt return and how you felt it impacted the game.
I mean, like Coach Tomlin said, I think it had a big reason why we scored those touchdowns, or that touchdown. And but it really isn't only me. I mean, we got a lot of guys. If you go back and watch the film, we have a lot of guys that are really doing their jobs well. You know, you got people like AJ and Ty Simmons out on the gunner for the Cowboys, and they were locking him up. So they did their job. I mean, to a whole nother level, and it made it a lot easier for me. So.
You joined the Steelers this offseason in March. What has it been like, your time with the team and trying to make an impact and making a name for yourself as we get closer and closer to the regular season, as training camp is heading into the preseason mode? Yeah,
it's great. I mean, a year ago around this time, I was just working out and not really knowing what was going to happen. There was, not really a light at the end of the tunnel for me. So just being here and being in, I mean, it's crazy. I'm at Heinz Field right now. It's awesome. But yeah, just being around these guys and I mean, you can just tell it's a great group of people, and the culture around here is just, it's different. So I love it. I'm forever grateful and always grateful.
Who's somebody that you lean on to kind of, help you to go under their wing and maybe to help you with any questions on and off the field that you may have?
I mean, I've been asking Cody White a lot. Him and Chase, I'm always asking them questions, and just a lot about technique stuff and a lot of detail stuff. There's a lot that goes into football, so it's not just, running a route. It's how you're going to run it, your alignment, your assignment, adjustment. And, I ask them any questions and just make sure I get my stuff right before I go out there and perform.
All right. Well, thanks for your time. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was our player down on the field, Mathew Sexton. Now Bob Labriola is up here in the North Club with me to tell us what he's taking away from today's practice labs.
Well, I'll tell you what, Missy, another day not in pads, and I, for one, am ready for the hitting to resume, but it's not up to me. The other thing that to me was pretty obvious right from the beginning is, I won't say the Steelers are running out of running backs, but it seems that the lines are definitely getting shorter for that specific position group. No Benny Snell today, not in sight on the field. Neither was Kalen Ballage, and so it seems as though the Steelers have enough. I won't call them scat backs, but smaller, speedy guys, and Anthony McFarland Jr., Jalen Samuels. But what the Steelers do need is someone besides Najee Harris to run between the tackles. So we're going to have to see how this shakes out. I don't know the specific prognosis for either Ballage or Benny Snell. I'm sure that Mike Tomlin will have some updates on those two guys, either maybe today's after his post-practice briefing, or maybe during his news conference on Tuesday in advance of the preseason game against the Eagles in Philadelphia. But the Steelers are getting, it seems to me, a little bit thin at running back, which brings me to, one of the main competition drills again today was the tight ends and running backs being covered by linebackers pass drill. And I mentioned the smaller, faster running backs who seem to be a big part of today's practice. Both Anthony McFarland and Jalen Samuels got deep, made very nice, what I call wide receiver catches, arms extended over their shoulder, deep down the field with the behind the coverage. In fact, as I was watching also some other things that were going on simultaneously, the only defender that I noticed who made a play on the ball and broke up the pass was Calvin Bundage. So he had a decent showing in the preseason opener. He's a guy who's already been cut once and brought back. So, when that happens, I never really know what to make of what happens when this player comes back to do some nice things. It seems to me if you've been cut once, that should kind of put you on a short list, maybe to get cut again, but we don't know that for sure. Another thing that was going on today was I won't say a punting duel, but during one of the special teams periods, Jordan Berry and Presley Harvin III were taking turns punting the ball. Jordan Berry is not going quietly in this two-man competition. I do want to say that, but Harvin is just, I don't know. I can't take my eyes off the guy. He was sending some rockets out there down the field, and what he seems to be able to do in my view anyway is his directional punting is pretty good. I mean, he was shooting bombs down there from the numbers to the sideline on both sides of the field, and I know coaches Danny Smith like that kind of thing because you can concentrate your coverage in one area and really box in the returner. One of the things that's usually a disaster is a long punt down the middle. Those are the kinds that returners love, and special teams coaches of the team that's doing the punting. One other thing, I do continue to notice this. Rookie seventh-round pick Trey Norwood is around the football, always around the football. We have heard that he may get a chance to play some slot, throws hat in the ring for that competition. We haven't seen that yet so far. I thought he had a pretty decent preseason opener, broke up a pass on the play after Alex Highsmith's sack down in the red zone, forced the Cowboys to kick a field goal. Then on another attempted Cowboys field goal, I believe he is the one who got his hand on the ball to cause a really bad miss by Nicewander, the Cowboys kicker. So keep an eye on Trey Norwood as well.
Labs, just a quick roster move to say the Steelers did sign running back Pete Guerrero. You were talking about some of the lack of depth there with Benny Snell and Kalen Ballage not able to go. Ballage dealing with a lower body injury, according to Coach Tomlin. That was following the game on Thursday in Canton. No pads again today. Are you surprised that's 2 days coming off of a game with a day off that the Steelers weren't in pads yet?
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know if the schedule was made up this way in order to, as a response to the Cowboys game, or if it's done to kind of get them rested in advance of the game against the Eagles. So we'll see tomorrow. I think tomorrow's supposed to be in pads. I thought today was going to be in pads.
All right, Labs, we have Coach Tomlin. Let's go live down to the field.
A little bit, introducing some situational ball. Guys are continuing to work their way back into the fold from a participation standpoint. The guys that have missed some time for a variety of reasons or another. And that's a part of this process, man. We're going to start to lean in on this Philadelphia opportunity that we have this week, but we had a couple more days where we're focused specifically on Steelers versus Steelers. We're very much in development. There is an element of game planning as you continue to go into stadiums, but we're not there yet. This will be Philadelphia's first game, and so we're treating it in a lot of ways like a first opportunity. So we're going to remain focused and be Steelers versus Steelers, particularly at the front part of the week. We won't transition our attentions toward that game until much later in the week. So we're just excited to get out here and sharpen the iron on the iron and compete a little bit and continue to learn and grow and display our talents. And that's a part of this process as well. Questions?
Mike, are you doing 2 minute a little more this camp, and how does that reveal a quarterback?
For us, 2 minute is dictated by the number of quarterbacks we're working with or need to get a look at. And so we're working 4 guys, and so it probably requires more of an effort on our part. Also, the time is somewhat condensed. And so we just want to make sure that we're checking all the boxes as it pertains to situational ball. And if we err, we want to err on the side of getting too much exposure than not enough.
But is that a big thing for the QBs when it comes time to separate them?
No doubt. Just the management of circumstances, the leadership of guys within circumstances, it's a big component of play.
Mike, you talked about guys having a chance to seize opportunities. What's been your impression of Rashad Howard so far?
Man, I think he's done an excellent job. He has the mannerisms and the demeanor of a veteran, and that's needed, particularly when we're going through the transition that we're going through at that group, when we're missing some guys or work at that group. His level of maturity and experience is showing, and it's an asset to him and to us.
Mike, when you're trying to evaluate guys you don't know much about, is there a way to quantify what you see, for example, on Thursday versus what you see on a day-to-day basis, or how does that work?
Thursday is weighted differently. It's in stadium. It's real football. Out here, we're conducting football-like drills. Now, we try to make it as football-like as we can, and that's probably why we maybe tackle more than most. when we're carrying pads, to elevate the opportunities to evaluate out here. We're evaluating in all circumstances, but no question the in-stadium stuff is weighted differently because you're not speculating in any way. You're getting a chance to evaluate their pedigree, you're getting a chance to evaluate their playmaking, their football intellect situationally. You're answering all the questions in those environments.
Mike, how's Devin Bush? You've had him back for a couple of weeks. How's he look?
Doing great. Working hard, getting better every day. Excited about getting him back on the grass.
Mike, what's his relationship like with Cam? His dad's put together. It seems like ever since Devin came in, Cam kind of took him under his wing as a first round. Is that kind of unique?
Cam does the talking, he does the listening. That's the nature of their relationship.
You got against 22 as much as you'd like, but how's that going, particularly the pass coverage?
We're just getting there. And again, like I mentioned earlier when I opened, we're starting to bring some of these guys back to full participation, and that's a target. That's a competitive target for him. And so he got some of those opportunities yesterday, and he'll get more of them as we continue. It's good for him, and it's good for 22 as well.
And Dodson,
Man, I can't tell you. I'll look at the tape first. It was good to have him back out there today.
Did he go with the seed if you like the power center?
He has done nothing to earn first-team reps. What are we talking about? He's a second-year guy that hadn't worked.
It seems like you have a running joke around Cam's age. Does he have old guy tendencies, or is he just old guy on this team?
You know, when he was a young guy, we used to talk hypothetically about a certain day when he would be that guy, when he looked up to guys like Aaron Smith and stuff like that. And he just, you know, at that time, that point in his career just seemed forever and a day. And I just like to remind him that he's there.
you guys do one-on-one with the outside back.
We keep track of it, but not in the way that you suggest. It's just a competitive spirit that we want to instill in them, man. You know, everybody knows what the good reps or the challenging reps are. The guys want to cover Ebron, for example, because he has strength in that area. And so if you cover him, you get an opportunity to cover him again. If you don't, then you got to drop down and cover someone else. And so in that sense, we keep score in a competitive way, but not anything that we keep a ledger on.
How would you say
Cam is losing a heck of a lot more than he's winning. But he's got a competitive spirit, doesn't he? You know?
Did he sneak into that against Ebron on his own, or did you guys put him out there?
He is always looking for competition. He thinks he's an oversized athlete. Notice that I said he thinks he's an oversized athlete.
How would you say assess how your locker room's done, kind of backfilling a leadership that you may have lost?
Man, we'll never know until we get it real adversity. You can trick yourself into talking about that crap this time of year. Nah, man, it's the journey that reveals the answers to those questions.
Are there any encouraging early signs?
I'm not looking for it. That'd be comfort seeking. We're just working to get this group better.
Back when you were scouting guys like Lawrence Timmons, did you get to know Bobby Pound at all?
Man, I worked in Tampa, man, years ago when I had an opportunity to work with guys like Derek Brooks and Warwick Dunn. And yes, I had an opportunity to meet Coach, but man, his legacy lives on not only in his wins and losses, but in the lives and the impact of men like those two I mentioned. Man, his football legacy is cemented. I extend my condolences to his family, and equally as important, his football family, because I know how guys like Derek Brooks and Warwick Dunn felt about that man, and it speaks to his greatness.
Anything else?
Thank you, guys.
All right, that was Coach Tomlin after Sunday's practice wrapped up. Again, the Steelers are practicing here at Heinz Field and open to the public on Monday and Tuesday before heading to Philly on Wednesday for their second preseason game on Thursday. That's going to do it for the training camp wrap-up show. For Bob Labriola and Missi Matthews, thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow.